Hi, it's Ainsley, and welcome to another update for CLRTY token holders. Unfortunately, I don't have a huge amount of news since our last update video in December and the email that I sent out in February. Conditions haven't really changed much since then. So just a quick recap for those of you who are maybe didn't see that video or haven't seen any news from us, or who haven't been getting our regular updates or watching us on social media. Effectively, the excitement in cryptocurrency hasn't transferred across to the rest of the crypto asset space. Now, whilst I appreciate that the cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ether increased dramatically from about, around the Christmas time onwards, they have had a massive dip over recent weeks, which was not unexpected. But it's important for us to understand that increases in those assets are helpful, but don't necessarily indicate that that interest is transferring across into other crypto assets or onto other utility tokens, for example. I've had a huge number of questions, which I'm going to go through, and they've all come in since those updates. So rather than miss out anybody, or if anybody's not understanding, then let me go through those questions and hopefully that'll give you some clarity, no pun intended, or maybe actually pun intended. I think it's important to reiterate some of the points that I've made previously. One, COVID has changed dramatically the economic landscape over the last 12 months. It's changed what is going on in the business world hugely, and that has a massive impact on us and what we're up to. Yes, recent increases in cryptocurrencies have brought excitement back into the space, and that's a good thing. It can only be seen as a good thing, but we need that interest to extend beyond pure Bitcoin and Ether. We need it to extend into the whole crypto space and into those utility tokens. And that needs to happen before we start going down the route of an STO or an ICO. Now, rest assured, we want that public sale as quickly as you do, because this is the beautiful symbiotic relationship of tokens. What benefits us benefits you, what benefits you benefits us, what benefits both of us benefits the market. So it's really important that we choose our timing right. We do not want to get this wrong. Also, to do an STO ICO is going to cost a significant sum of money, a huge amount of money. We can't go into that lightly. We can't do it and risk not succeeding at that public sale. So it's really important that we pick our timing right. And we've seen successful ICOs and STOs that have been working and generating revenue and pulling in significant sales over a period of time before we jump in. We do not want to be first into this. We do not want to be the test bed. We want to have seen a successful run and then get involved. So as I said previously, once we know and once we have that information, we will be in touch with you. We will be looking to increase and introduce that private sale to generate sufficient funds to be able to take that sale public. So it's really important we do this at the right time. Now, to get to some of the questions and that we've had, because I think it's important that I go through them in public. I won't obviously name who's asked them, but it's important that I talk about them. So if anybody else has got those questions, then I'm helping answer those questions too. So some of them you may not see as a question, or you may already know the answer to, but let's just go through them anyway so that we're all on the same page, as it were. If you have been following our social media and you have been following any updates that you've been getting or any newsletters you're signed up to, then you're probably not going to want to watch the rest of this video. It's probably much as you've seen before. However, for those that have any queries, hold on, and any questions not answered, please send them through and I'll send out another video to everybody so that we're doing a one-to-many approach and we're not just answering email by email by email. So the first question we had is, we invested £20,000 at a token value of 8 cents back in 2018. Can you please advise the current market value of each token and what the value of the investment is right now? Well, firstly, you haven't invested. It isn't an investment. We're very clear at the outset. You haven't invested in the business. You haven't invested in CLRTY. You haven't invested in CLRTY tokens. You've actually bought CLRTY tokens. So you have a CLRTY token holder. You own those tokens. You bought them at a price that was set in the white paper and explained and in advance of a public sale. And so just to make that one point clear, obviously, we haven't gone to a public sale. It didn't happen. So there is no as is where public market value. It's not listed on an exchange, the CLRTY token, so there is no readily available market price for the token as it stands. Of course, that's not to say that you are absolutely the holder of that token and you can sell it and transfer it to whomever you want at a price that you agree. There are exchanges out there which will deal with CLRTY tokens. You need to find them. They are unregulated, so they're not without risks. But if you do find somebody who wants to buy CLRTY tokens, you are free to sell those tokens. And you may not get somebody to appreciate their value, but you are absolutely free to sell or transfer those tokens in any way you see fit. They will exist in that MetaMask that we asked you to set up, that MetaMask account that we asked you to set up, so we transfer them to you. And it's very easy, if you just follow their instructions, to be able to transfer or send those tokens to whomever you want to. Remember, though, you need to get the right address. They are bearer tokens, and once they're gone, they're gone. So you need to make sure that they've gone to the right address for the right purpose and to the right person. So please be wary when transferring tokens on unregulated exchanges. Next question we had in is, please can you explain the relationship between the CLRTY token and the cryptocurrency Ethereum, and how does it affect our investment? Well, as I said, again, it's not an investment. You have purchased CLRTY tokens and you are a CLRTY token holder. And you will have noticed that I always mention CLRTY token holders and CLRTY tokens as utility tokens. So it's important that CLRTY is currently a utility token, and that utility token uses the Ethereum network to operate on. So that's the connection to Ether or Ethereum. It's utility tokens that use the Ethereum blockchain platform to exist and transfer and operate on. So their value is not connected whatsoever with Ether. Now, that said, if Ether stroke Ethereum increases in value, as does other cryptocurrencies, well, that will have naturally a good long-term interest in other crypto assets. And that's important. Now, we've spoken about this a number of times, that a certain asset values over the last year have been going up and down. We've seen gold, we've seen share prices, and others looking to exit in from one market into another. It's important, as I said, that we wait for the movements to stabilize and the interest to transfer into utility tokens specifically, and an Ethereum utility token and a token like CLRTY. Now, we've also seen in the market that institutional investors and the holding of currencies has widened. Again, that can only be seen as a great thing for the market, but it has not yet transferred into utility tokens. The third question is, what's the portion of selling, or what's the process of selling a portion of my tokens? Well, I just briefly said that and touched on that earlier. You can, of course, sell your tokens to anybody or transfer them to anybody. You need to make sure, if it's an unregulated exchange or the person you're dealing with you don't know, you need to have some sort of trust in that whole transaction. And you may want to use an escrow account, or you may want to use other accounts so that you can see the money comes and before you transfer your tokens, and you may want a contract. But in the whole process of actually transferring your tokens, it's a very simple one. Your MetaMask account has the instructions. You can just transfer tokens. Once you have the address of the holder, you can transfer those tokens and free to make any transfer that you want to do. The next question we had, with a recent surge in cryptos and what appears to be a more stable market, has that impacted CLRTY's token timeline positively in respect of going public? So the market isn't stable, in our opinion. But as I said, even if we see a stable cryptocurrency market, such as Bitcoin and Ether, as a stable currency, and that price stabilizes, what we need is that interest to transfer into other areas. And again, as I said, it's a good thing, and it's great that we've had interest in Bitcoin and Ether. We do need that to spill over into the other crypto assets. And hopefully that will happen at some point. Well, it should happen at some point. Clearly, it has happened in the past, but we need to see that happening, and it needs to happen for a period of time before we start to think about going public. So rest assured, we want to go public as soon as you, so please stay tuned, and we will obviously advise you in advance of a public sale. I understand from your updates that the team does everything they can to promote the project, but is the software development part done? Meaning, are clients already able to actually seek funding through CLRTY? And how is the counterpart, meaning the financial providers? How would you evaluate the interest from the marketplace in the project as a whole as of today? Well, we haven't built the platform as detailed in the white paper. We wanted to go public to raise funds from the public sale to be able to fund the development of the platform. And our vision was huge as detailed in that white paper. It's a really complex platform. It's something that we are still believe in and still know is going to be the right solution for both small business owners, institutional investors, and their advisors. So no, we haven't built that platform. We need that sale to happen so that we can generate sufficient funds to be able to fund the development of the platform. It's not just the development of the platform, it's the marketing of the platform. It's also getting interested people involved and getting partnerships on board and getting an interest in CLRTY, CLRTY, that is the token, not the platform, so that we can make sure the whole thing works smoothly. So it's not just as simple as building something and out to market. We need to create a market for the CLRTY token as well as part of the whole. And that's what's exciting, but that's also what means it's a slower process at the moment, and certainly without a public sale happening. So we are waiting for the public sale to happen before we can do that. We have built a very tiny part of the original idea, and that has been for accountants primarily, so that when we're in a position to raise funds, we know that we've got something that's working with accountants. We can expand that, we can make that bigger, and we can build the platform that we set out in the white paper. So product market fit is being worked on at the moment, and it's something that we're working hard to try and achieve, but that's on a very small scale with a very tiny element of the original idea. It's something that we hope will ultimately show a product market fit for what we had envisaged and what we had planned, and we're looking forward to that happening. How do you, as the CLRTY team, evaluate the time horizon until the investors may claim some of their token holders back? If at all, please be honest. I bought in 20,000 additionally through some friends in France. I don't just ask for myself. Well, again, I think I've tried to say this a number of ways and in a number of different times. It's important that we do a public sale at the right time for everybody. And it's important that we get it off the ground and successful from the outset. So we're not going to go into this lightly. We do want to make sure that everybody achieves success. So it's something that is important to us. And clearly we need those funds to be able to develop that platform and create the original idea that we came up with. We will obviously keep you all in the loop, but the timeline is a moving horizon. I'm sure you'll all appreciate this year has been catastrophic from many perspectives. Our project is a typical business project. It's not wacky. It's not auto-magical. It is a proper sound business idea, and we need sound business economics to be able to move forward. So this last year has certainly had a significant impact, and we've not seen the interest in Ether and Bitcoin spill over into the other crypto assets. So rest assured, as soon as we can do a token sale, we will do it, but we need to see others that have gone before us that are achieving success. We're not going to just jump in and see something bad happen. Another question, cryptocurrencies seem to thrive at the moment. How is it technically? Do we own the cryptocurrency, or are these tokens only usable in combination with the CLRTY project? So not quite sure what the question is there, but popular Bitcoin cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin are doing well. We don't know yet if that's a bubble or if it's going to be sustainable. It's been up and down, certainly over the last couple of months. The excitement yet hasn't moved into the ICO, STO area yet. Those are, our tokens are backed by a business model, and the business model has been hit because of the global pandemic. Bitcoin seems to be at the whim of Elon Musk at the moment. So when he talked about accepting Bitcoin, Bitcoin increased. When he talked about not accepting Bitcoin, then Bitcoin decreased. So he obviously has an impact in the world. So he's having an impact on the price. Once the raise and the next steps have been completed, including building the project platform, the tokens can be used on the platform in the purchase program, or you can sell them on the open market. So everything that we've said in our white paper still stands. Everything that we've said we want to make happen, everything that we've said we're waiting for, and we will be letting you know as soon as we can when that's likely to happen. And the last question I have, which is a rather harsh one, but let's deal with it anyway, because others may be feeling the same thing. What happened to CLRTY and their promise? Question mark. Well, as I've said, we can't wait until the conditions are right to launch a public sale and fulfill our vision as set out in the white paper. It is big, it is huge, it is good, it still stands, it's still valid, it's still an issue and concern. There are problems still exist, and our solution will hopefully solve those problems. So nothing that we've said in the past has changed. What we're waiting for is the market to be in the right position to enable this sale to happen. In hindsight, looking back, we were 6 months too late. We don't want to make that same mistake again. And we want to do it in a way that makes success for everybody, not just a handful of people. So we want to benefit the entire CLRTY project. And when we get the funds to do that, we will certainly make that happen. So I hope that's given you some insight into what's going on. I'm afraid there isn't a huge amount of change since December or since we sent out the last update in February. Again, please do stay in touch with us. If you've got any questions that I haven't answered, if you please let us know, and I will make sure that we record the responses so that everybody is kept in the loop all the time and that we're not just answering questions for a few. I hope you have a good summer. I hope the weather picks up. I hope things improve. I hope easing of restrictions continue. I know in certain jurisdictions it's not. So I am looking forward to a very different year or very different 12 months coming up. And I am excited for the future. And I'm sorry, I haven't got any more concrete dates for you, but as soon as I can, I will let you have those. Stay safe, and I look forward to catching up with many of you in person in the very near future. Thank you.